Welcome everyone back to week 13 of Thriving in the New Normal. I am very excited this week. We have some very special guests. We've got HVAC contractors that are going to be sharing with you how they're thriving in this new normal that we've all find ourselves in. For those that are familiar with the HVAC or our Thriving in the New Normal series that we have, I just want to review a couple things with you real quick. We do have our phone number, 713-856-1853. If you want to jot that down or you want to put that into your phone, that'd be great to have saved into your contacts. As we're going through these sections and we're hearing how contractors are utilizing some of these great tools that we have available, you'll be able to text the word that's associated with that specific topic, and you can get in contact and set up an appointment with one of our coaches. You can get more information to learn more about the products or services that they have available. And so this is a great tool for you to be able to get that one-on-one coaching that you need or to get questions answered that you may have after this broadcast. So far through this series, we've covered a lot of different topics. And if you've missed any of the topics or you'd like to go back and review any of them, please go to either the Goodman Business Toolbox or the Amana Brand Business Academy. You'll click on Dealer, and then you'll click Training Resources. You'll see the Thriving in the New Normal logo, and all of the recordings are there for you to be able to view, for you to share with colleagues or pass on to anybody else. There's no usernames or passwords. All of this is available and free for you to be able to use. If you have additional questions while you're watching those, you can still use that same text function to get a hold of our coaches, or you can also use the Ask a Coach button that's on the website that will allow you to be able to set up that appointment with one of our coaches that we have. So what does it mean to thrive? And this is an interesting question, and I did a little bit of research, and I pulled up something that I think makes a lot of sense. Thriving is not a specific point that we get to in life. It's not a point of success. It's not a point it's not the destination of the journey, but it is the process that we use to go to that journey. It's that process of growing. It's that process of changing the way that we do things, and that process of learning and really getting into that full sense of self, of who we want to be and where we want it, and that journey that we're getting there too. And so what I wanted to do this week was to take some time to hear from some of our HVAC contractors that are seeing some success, that are truly thriving in this new normal that we all find ourselves in. And so I'm not going to keep talking a whole lot of time. I'm going to turn over to the people that are important. And we're going to start off with Matthew Plugoff. And Matthew, if you could go ahead and
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Good morning. And I hope this finds you well and safe. Good news, bad news. Good news, there's something to talk about. Bad news, my guest today was unable to attend the meeting for a couple of different reasons, all very valid, but he did ask me to summarize a few points for y'all. Matt Tyner is a friend of mine, and we've worked together over the last couple of years on a variety of projects. He is currently the marketing manager for a company called Williams Comfort Air in the Midwest, where they've had a fantastic season, even under extreme duress. And in discussing kind of what they did during this time period to help them, quote unquote, thrive, they really identified three distinct decisions that they made. The first distinct decision that strengthened their brand was to understand the correlation between risk and value. That if a client working with you perceives you as a risky choice or as perhaps more risky than someone else, that your value proposition is automatically compromised. Which is to ask a simple question, namely, what are our clients' biggest fears? What are their concerns? What are the skeletons in their closet? What would the worst case scenario look like for them in dealing with the heating and air conditioning company? And then just sort of reverse engineering policies and procedures that reduce risk and ensure consistency. Like any company, they found themselves, and we all do this, like having to explain their position in relation to the competition. And if you're unable to make that distinction, then your brand strength needs to be worked on clearly. So the first decision that they made was to really make a list and identify the key risks and concerns that their customers have, and then work on policies and procedures that improve the transparency so they could say, here's distinctly why we do these things. So that was decision number one. And obviously it was targeted at the zeitgeist of anxiety that many of us have been living in. The second decision that they made from a brand position was to take this idea of the user experience, the customer experience, and to really unpack it. You know, it's one of those phrases that gets bandied about so much, and it's usually just identified in a positional manner. This person or this function is responsible for teeing off the experience. But because there are so many touch points and because there's such fluidity right now, right? I mean, we are in a boundaryless market where there is no beginning or end to the cycle. The edges just are not there any longer. What they understood is that to strengthen their brand, they also had to embed certain user experience features in all of the touch points that were involved in the customer cycle, from the social to the web-based to the, pardon me. I'd lost you. Can you still see me?
Yeah, we still see you, Matthew.
Oh, okay, weird. My computer just freaked out. So anyways, they took four things, right? How they educate customers, how they want customers to feel, an aspirational component to it, and then an entertainment piece. And they identified the touch points that they were working on. And then at that point, they put each of those four components into the touch points. So, you know, as I said, instead of viewing the experience as a positional thing, they embedded it throughout all of the touch points. So there was a very cohesive story. And then lastly, they worked very deeply inside the community. They started looking for ways that they could reach out to people and do good philanthropic work, use that on their social signals, use that on their website. Those are, I mean, it's the right thing to do, right? I mean, business has some kind of ethical obligation. But also it was their way, because they're able to do this, to reach out into the community and to say, we're here for you, we're part of you, and, work in that regard toward a loyalty piece. So, when asked, how have you been working on your brand? Those were the three things. One, they're working on the brand in a way to mitigate risk and to improve transparency. Second, to expand or broaden the concept of a user experience so that it actually is visible, if not tangible in certain instances throughout their entire journey. And then finally, being a good steward of the community so people recognize them as responsible, moral, and ethical. And that's been the journey they've been on. It's been very successful for them.
I'm Jennifer Bagley. I'm really excited to introduce our guest. We have Ryan Weber from Walcott with us. Outside of the Portland, Oregon area, a little place called Troutsdale. Ryan, how are you thriving in the new normal? What do you see as the primary factors that are driving success with your business, which I'm so incredibly proud of?
Well, it is definitely a new normal. And I always draw back to what my mom taught me. It's like, love people and use your words. And using our words in a new normal is different because there's different methods of how do we let people know how we can love them? How do we communicate with them? And one of them is just becoming familiar with people. Well, I know how to do it the way we used to do it, but having people become familiar with us, creating our brand so that we become familiar, so that when people see us, they begin to know over time who we are. So developing our brand, and then hiring CI Web Group helps us communicate and use our words in a way that we didn't necessarily know how to, creating content, helping us with our story, getting it out there, whether it's all kinds of different ways, social media, branding our vans. We've been flirting with different technologies. Obviously, Zoom calls. I mean, what you see here, I created a room so that we can get our people together, talking to different groups of people, customers, clients, consultants.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So I know that you guys are using some new technologies to be able to make the experience better for consumers that are visiting your website, whether it's the middle of the night or on the weekend or in the middle of the day. How's that working for you guys as far as making it easier for your clients? What are you using?
It's unbelievable. The chat bot that you guys set us up with, I was skeptical at first, but again, if what we're using is we have to touch people, we have to figure out new ways, we're willing to try anything. And the chat bot has blown me away. I'll be laying in bed at 1 a.m. and there will be customers communicating with the AI chatbot and signing themselves up for appointments. And I did not expect that, but it works. It works well. Does that work?
Yes, absolutely. And then I know that you guys are starting to use check-ins and get reviews and publish those reviews by city on your website, more local. How do you see your technicians? I know this is something that's sometimes difficult for companies to adopt, but how important and how are your guys doing as far as capturing the review and reputation management something that's critical to them and that can be displayed at a local level?
Yes, it works extremely well. I mean, we send people all over the place all over the metro area, all those cities that you see there. When they leave a footprint of where they are and it creates a heat map and you start to see, when people start to see, oh, wow, these guys have ants all over us, surrounding us. They will come and serve us at any time of the day. And when you get a visual graphic of it, it's been amazing how quickly we went from zero to just, I mean, you see all those cities there. It just gives us an awareness, and it's very simple for our guys to use, not complex. The guys that have not necessarily a background in how to even use a smartphone well can do it very easily.
And then
it gives other people.
You're good.
Okay, it gives other people a comfort level too. They can take pictures and show them the work, so people get to see what our guys are doing. Oh wow, they do this, they do that, and it's become a very interactive tool that puts people at ease. We're using our words, and we're teaching not just me using my words of what my mom taught me. I get to teach everybody here to use their words. And I'm like, I think I'm making my mom proud.
Absolutely. I know you guys are incredible about creating these digital assets. Just one question before we get out of here. You have a special relationship with your team at CI Web Group. What do you think? Do you feel like it's a vendor relationship or do you feel like it's stronger than that? And why is that important to your overall success?
Great question. I've never met a single person from CI Web Group in person. And that came with some skepticism, because if I can't see people and touch them, how can I trust them? Well, we've collaborated and gotten on these Zoom calls where you can see if someone's gulping, you can see if their eyes are shifting, and you can tell if they trust you or you trust them. And what we have created in a business where everybody's going to give you analytics. Everybody's going to tell you some of the same things, but is it going to work? And the trust and the friendship level that I've developed with an entire team at CI Web Group it's blown me away to have virtual friends that I care about. I care about what they're doing, and they care about what we're doing, and they want me to help people. I would have never guessed that staring at a screen that it would make me cry. I was like, these people get what I'm doing and they're helping me. They're teaching me things I've never done before. So it is a new normal, and it frankly is weird and surprising, but it is awesome.
You make my eyes water because I know how much all of you guys love each other so much. That connection, it's more than a vendor. And having relationships with Tom, working with HVAC Coaching Corner. There's so many different connections. Ryan, I'm proud of you guys and everything that you're doing, and I look forward to just massive, explosive new activities that are going to continue to have you guys thriving in the new normal.
I'd like to introduce everyone to Blaine Steffen. He has been listening to these webinars since the beginning. Definitely responded in a very courageous way to the pandemic with his team. Definitely demonstrating, exemplifying leadership. So with that, Blaine doesn't need much of an introduction, and he doesn't need much help either. He's going to go through these questions and take up the rest of our time. Go ahead, Blaine.
Sounds great. Thanks, Brigham. And thank you guys for what you've done. I've really appreciated being able to log in. I haven't been able to hit it live yet, except for today. But I appreciate everything I've taken. Sometimes I'd be sanding my deck, and other times I'm washing my truck, and you guys are always in the back of my head right now. So thanks for being there. So we're from Northern Canada, not as north as you can go. There's a lot colder places even than us, but we are strategically placed directly on the border of Alberta and Saskatchewan, and it's such a crazy community. I look out those windows behind me there, and the other side of the street is Alberta, and my business is in Saskatchewan. And so I literally live in one province and work in the other, and travel across the border every day. So when they closed the border on us, it didn't affect us at all. But it was kind of a funny scenario. But it's cold here. It's hot here. We have a temperature difference. We go from like -40 to +40 in the summer, and makes for some very interesting. I was telling Brigham earlier that when we switch from seasons, it's distinct. Spring is substantially different than summer, which is substantially different from winter, and so on. So it's awesome. We love it. We love the it's good for work, and it's a fun time. So so that's Lloydminster, and there's some challenges with that, but we've gone after them, and and dealt with them, and there's advantages too. There's no PST on one side, so we all get which is the provincial sales tax, and so we all get to benefit from that. So it's been good. Next, Brigham just asked to give a little history, how long I've been in the trades. So we've been doing plumbing. Basically, I turned 40 this year, and my dad tells the story of having to take a diaper bag with him to work when he would start with me. So it's kind of in our blood. I come from a family of 6 kids, and my dad owned a plumbing and heating company the entire time that I can remember, from before I was born. And he told me one day that he can't afford to put us all through university, but he can give us all a trade. And from that, I can do whatever I want. I can put myself through whatever I want to do, and I can go to university. I can do whatever I want, and that'll give me the tools I need for that. And I appreciate that. He's definitely one of my heroes, and I'm super grateful for all he did for our family and for the 4 boys. Each of us have some training. 3 of us are journeyman plumber gas fitters, and my other brother is just a really awesome hard worker, and the girls are also doing real well. So that's good. My brother and I started Guardian about 10 years ago, pretty much 10 years ago, and we haven't really looked back. We just love our community, love our people, and love doing what we're doing. So we it was kind of timely. All of a sudden, we got the notification. The whole COVID thing kind of took off, and all of a sudden everything got weird. And we were kind of looking back on it and trying to decide, well, what really affected us. And I think the biggest thing we ran into was that it was so unknown. Nobody really knew what we had to do. Nobody knew what was expected of us every day. All of a sudden, it was, if you had a fever, don't come to work. Now it's asymptomatic, so nobody should go to work. And it was just, it felt like every day there was a new narrative and a new piece of information, and we were just up in the air. So I literally just went looking for things, for information, for ways to do things different. And Ben, your email was very timely, inviting us to the webinars, because I was ready to dig into something and just see what other people are doing and what options and opportunities were out there for us. And so when that came across, and my rep, my sales manager out in Edmonton, Russell, he also sent it to me and really encouraged us to take part in that, and to use these resources that you guys were providing. And so I put it in my schedule, signed up for all 16 weeks that were on it, and put it in there, and made it a point that to get notified. And first week came along, and that was kind of our first week in the crazy, and so I never got into the course. I never got into the webinar, but that following Sunday, I was actually got into a good routine of being up at 5 every day of the week, and spending some time just training and learning and just digging into some different stuff. And so that morning I was getting ready. I knew I had to play bass guitar at church at 9, but I was like, what should I look at today? And I remembered the webinar, so dug in and started listening, and just got sucked right in. I wasn't actually able to finish it beforehand, but the whole time I was just, you guys got me fired up, and I got kind of excited about that. And the thing that really kind of hit home was Brigham's offer for the outbound calling script, and I just loved the idea behind it. I loved where it was going, and so I signed up for that, and was hoping to get those to show up and stuff like that. And while I was waiting for that, I actually, after the webinar was over, I kind of was just going through the toolbox and looking at all the different things that were in there, and I ended up watching every one of the flat rate videos on there. And we've been flat rate for a couple of years now, one of the first companies in our area to look that direction. But those videos were phenomenal, and it helped me to get some new tools to be able to help my guys understand why we do what we do, and they were just really well laid out. And then moved into to the Power Selling Pro videos as well. And so I ended up was washing my truck and listening to every single one of the videos that was on there. And I'm forwarding off to my brother. I'm like, you got to listen to this. I said, this is game changing. This is, and there's everything that we wanted. About a year ago, we had spent some time just really looking at our strategic development and deciding where did we want our culture to go and who did we want to be. And everything that I was listening just lined right up with the culture that we wanted. Right in our mission statement, we talk about creating lifetime customers. And since since working with Brigham and Erica, I've actually adapted it. It's now creating lifetime customers and being able to give them that wow experience. And my entire I hear it all the time now walking through the shop, and people are like, well, if we're going to give that wow experience, then we need to do this, then we need to provide this level and this service. And so, it was really awesome to be able to go through those. So I'm emailing those off to my brother, to my service manager, to my dispatcher. And so you guys need to watch these. We need to talk about this Monday. So Monday, we started to implement some of the ideas and practice them. And Brian, my dispatcher, and I cold called him and put him through the ringer, and he did fantastic just right off the start, just giving her a shot. And then that day I headed off to the gym at lunch. And when I come back after lunch, Brian's like waiting to bowl me down at the door with this story. He's like, yeah, I said, I used the pattern for excellence, and I went through the script, and seriously, this call was going totally sideways. We were able to turn it around, and I booked the call, and I sold a membership. So he's just so fired up about it. And it's like every day when I came back in from the gym, I was just almost anticipating a new story from Brian about his excitement and his enthusiasm for that. So it was funny, actually, the following Sunday, probably to do with the whole texting stuff and everything, I did get connected with Shelly at Power Selling Pros about the Your People program. And because of the success that I had with all of the free stuff, I still haven't paid for anything at this point. All the success I had with all the free stuff, it was pretty much a no-brainer. I sent a message to my brother. I said, Joey, this is the information for this program. It's for our entire team. We can, we're always talking about how we can communicate better, how we can be better internally and with our customers. So here's the info. I think we should do it. Let's talk about it. So it was a no-brainer. We signed up, and they were awesome. Helped us. Right now, cash flow is one of those things that you're really, really conscious of. They worked us out a nice deal there to be able to really almost experience all of the training, see the benefits of our customers before we even had to really worry about that, and it was very manageable. So yes, we went through that, and the team, and I don't know how you guys are with your technicians, but we brought everybody into every meeting except for the leadership one. Just 4 of us, I think, took part in that one. But other than that, everybody logged in, and I watched the faces, and there was times I was like, this sometimes can be a little fluffy for those technicians, and they might be a little weird. But every time that Erica would ask someone directly, hey, so-and-so, what do you think about this? And the mature and responsive answers that I got surprised even me. And I was just super excited to see that my guys were actually embracing this. Some of the things that I remember, the things that you shouldn't say, and gave us a whole list, and they're all things that we say all the time. And so I remember one of my texts is just like, that's like my go-to phrase. So he totally knew he needed to change that up and switch those up. So it was awesome. So we wrapped that up last Wednesday. So we are done the Your People program, and we are moving into an ongoing coaching relationship with our dispatcher, and we'll be sitting down and working out the logistics of that coming up. So my guys are doing an amazing job of utilizing the tools, and there's just so many of them, and I just appreciate this whole scenario. And like I said, each and every one of the presenters here has definitely made an impact in the way that we've decided to head with our company. So thanks a lot for being a part of that and helping us move ahead.
Blaine, you've been fantastic. I think everybody can agree that job well done. Glad you're with us, not just with us at Power Selling Pros, but on this program. It was a scary, interesting time for all of us, and love how you responded to it and gave us the opportunity to do what we do. So just to recap what Blaine said, we provide ongoing accountability coaching one-on-one for your CSRs, your techs. We even work with the owner one-on-one. If somebody in leadership needs some help with that, we can help. We focus on phenomenal customer experience. We also do group virtual training. You can you can just text POWER and get all the information you need there for our virtual training programs, as well as our one-on-one coaching, or you can just go to our website, powersellingpros.com/coaching for one-on-one coaching. And Power Selling Pros, there should be an S there. Can't believe I missed that. But it's powersellingpros with an S.com/your people as well. We'd love to have you. Thank you very much, Blaine.
Yeah, you bet. Take care.
Brigham, you guys rock as usual. I'm David Holt with National Comfort Institute, and I tried to get 5 different companies to join in and do a little 1 or 2 minute blurb about how their involvement with NCI has helped them get through this new normal. And every one of them said, I'm too busy. So here's what I did. I actually was able to corral each one of them and get them to record a little something. So Ben, take it away.
My name's Tom Johnson. I'm the president of TM Johnson Brothers Plumbing, Heating, and Air, located in Cambridge, Minnesota. Since we've started using the high-performance HVAC approach, we've been able to identify huge problems in our customers' homes. Nearly every system we run across, static pressure is way higher than it should be. airflow is less than it should be, fans are set up improperly. By using that high performance approach, we've been able to cure many customers' problems. And once people feel comfortable with you because you know more than any of the other contractors that have ever been in their home, once that trust level is built, then asking for them to purchase things from you is much, much easier. They're actually looking to us to find out how they can improve their home instead of us trying to sell them things. It's been a remarkable change in the way we approach customers, even through this pandemic over the past several months. The conversations come much easier about how we can change things in their home for the better, how we can make them more comfortable, how we can make them safer. And it's really helped as all of our technicians believe and understand this as they watch all the improvements that happen in their customers' homes. It became a different philosophy from, oh boy, I got to sell them something, trying to teach your techs to sell. They're excited to educate their customer. They're excited to let them know what they know and how they can help them. It's just a complete change in philosophy that's revolutionized our business.
My name is Michael Graney. I am the service manager at All Pro Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical. Once I took my first NCI class, I got the fever and have been living and bleeding it ever since. Our company culture is performance. We talk about static pressure all of the time. We've also had the opportunity to really dig deep and dig into our customers' airflow systems step by step through air upgrades and making systems actually perform instead of just working. When you go through the NCI training, you'll learn that through testing and measuring, you can predict the outcome before you've done the work. And if you price your jobs properly and know how to actually bid a job correctly, you'll become quite profitable. It just absolutely blows your mind when you can test and measure on the front side and know what's going to happen on the back side and have raving fans at the end of it.
Yeah, my name is Will Horner, and I'm the sales manager at Canco Climate Care, located in Southern Ontario. Since we've been, as a company, been using high performance sales approach, we've been uncovering things that we didn't know before. And one of the greatest things I get to say to them is that we didn't know what we know now. Now that we know that, we can't put a system in like that anymore, and we can actually improve the performance of your system, whether it's from maintenance or it's from a replacement system. So there's a lot more confidence in our whole culture, the way that we're going to market when we're doing the static pressure. We would put some new systems in that are like bang on or even below the rated pressure, which is actually amazing. So I love the way that NCI has taken on something that was just so simple that you wouldn't even see. It's hidden inside the ductwork. It's hidden in the air. So we can actually find those things and show our customers how we can actually improve the system and improve their comfort. And they can have the safest, healthiest, most comfortable and energy efficient systems possible. So thanks to NCI, that's what we're doing. I've taken on virtual sales. So I have a program that I can actually present and I can show people different options. And actually what's been happening lately is that the customers have been building the systems with me. They tell me what they want. They're already investigating. They know there's so much information out there that they can get themselves. So before I start going blah, blah, blah about all the stuff that I know, I ask them what they know. And they're actually telling me, I think I want this type of system. And I go, okay, great. We can build that together right now. And so we build it together. And it's actually quite great. People are loving that they can actually have the input and design the system instead of me telling them what I think that they should get. And it's made such a world of difference. Thanks to you guys, because we had NCI before all this happened, and we'll be connecting once a month through this online format, and we get to share best business practices together, and it just makes such a world of difference. And I get the confidence to go out and do what I'm doing from all the stuff that I've done with you guys, because you guys give me everything that I need. So anyway, I just appreciate that.
My name is John Fullen, and I am with Control Point Mechanical. I'm the operations manager, and we are located in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. We've been doing high performance now for 5 or 6 years with NCI. Where we thrive is we can prove it now. It's like going to the doctors. We don't guess. We go in, you take your vitals first, find out what you got going in. Then you can have some solutions and options for the for your customer. Safety, health, comfort, efficiency, that's all high performance. That's what we talk about. That's what we talk about all the time. And that separates us from our competition because they're not talking about that. Let's look at the distribution circuit. So I'm running in with static pressure, not gauges. A manometer, it's an x-ray. You're looking into the system. You could tell with the static pressure if the coil's plugged, if the filter's too restrictive. You know you're going to need to add some return ductwork, and you know you might need to add a little bit of supply. So it's being empowered with that information and what you can do with it. Without somebody that doesn't check the static pressure, they can't even talk the same language as I can talk. I can actually prove and fix things and have facts where they can guess. It's totally different ways of doing things. It's more professional too. It's once I'm done with the customer, they don't have any questions. They feel confident they can make a decision. There's no questions in their mind, and it's up to them. It's their system. So that's where having the high performance contracting separates us from our competition.
So I'm Dawn Morozic with GVC and Cooling in Glenview, Illinois, which is just north of Chicago. So I have actually pretty much changed the whole sales process just to be different compared to any other contractor in the area. So I've taken a lot of the worksheets that NCI actually has given us in the classes that I have gone to. One of them is testing deficiency. And what I have done is taken all the pictures from the job site and drawn arrows to certain fittings that need to be changed, whether it be return air drop, supply plenum that crashes into supply trunk, registers, blower motors, blower wheels if they're really dirty, which is very common, restrictive filters. And then in this report, I actually have the arrows and explaining how we're going to change it and then how it will actually improve the efficiency or even the comfort of the client's home. So just by doing that, by having this full report, it just shows more value. You know, instead of us just going in and be like, oh yeah, we're just looking at the sizing of the equipment. It's more than just sizing of the equipment. The other thing is I actually now take the comfort maps and I include that in the report as well. So on every single sales call now I include the comfort max, and in the back of that report now is the comfort max report of how the efficiency of their system is performing. And it'll kind of show if typically it's about 60%, 50% efficiency, which I feel is very common. So yeah, just from those reports, I put that together, and then that's what they actually will open up first. And after they open that, review it, then I have the proposal attached of the duct renovation jobs proposal that they can look at and see what needs to be done to improve the efficiency.
So you're measuring, obviously, you're taking photographs to kind of show the before situation. You're educating the customer, so you're using an educational sales process to help them understand exactly what you're trying to help them understand, and doing it with pictures and just a few arrows and very few words. I've seen one of your reports. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
It works extremely well. So it's kind of a show and tell approach, right?
Absolutely.
And when you're doing the measurements to measure the actual static pressure and the fan airflow and so forth for the Comfort Max reports, you're giving them kind of a baseline of here's where you are right now. And then your findings and recommendations then are all pointed back to here's the things we saw. Mm-hmm. Here's our recommendations to resolve those things. And then at the end of the process, when you show them the price, what would you say this has done to your average sale price for jobs?
My goodness, increased dramatically. Not only that, I mean, the closing ratio is just insane. I'm saying I'm probably at 90% closing ratio on all my jobs now, which is like unheard of. Once I start this, I'm like, okay, it takes longer. I don't care though, because, you know, I'm getting the job. Showing the actual data, the MagnaHelic, I think that's huge because no other company goes in there with MagnaHelic, you know. And I think you're the one that turned me into doing the MagnaHelic compared to the regular digital static pressure. So that's a ball game too. That's a whole different change.
Yeah.
Yes, if you are interested in joining NCI to be a high performance contractor, there's no question asked. There's so much value. There's great teamwork. You have other contractors nationwide. You can reach out to them, get advice. yeah, I can't say enough about NCI and how they've helped us get to the next level.
I have a couple of guests. One is Tom Snyder from Applegate Heating and Home Comfort in north part of Michigan, and Clayton McMillan from Link Climate Care in Canada. So without further ado, if you wouldn't mind advancing the screen there, Ben. Okay, so Tom, are you on the call?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, fantastic. I have a quick question that I'm just going to let you respond to. So my question is, you and I have had a coaching relationship for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years or so. And when I first met you, I believe you had one location. And I've been super impressed with your ability to have a clear intention of where you wanted to go, coupled with a direction and how you built a business. So my one question for you is, what advice would you give other people, and what have you done to stay the course that you did, having multiple locations and then managing your way through this pandemic in Michigan as well as you have?
Yeah, it's Michigan's been unique. We were one of the last states. I think we just opened up last week, actually. So everything had dragged a lot more, I think, than the typical state. We got by. I would say we survived to now thrive would be our motto. But we have everybody back to work. We are backed up 3 or 4 weeks. And you know, the key, and whether sales has been my thing. I started in '73, got into sales in '80, and then kind of stopped the day-to-day sales probably the early '90s or so. So I don't have a direct level of confidence to train the salespeople. So I've always looked for outside help, and yeah, Tom and I have had a relationship for 3, 4 years, and every time he leaves, all of our salespeople say, when can we get him back? So the difference, I think, in any business, but on the sales side, training has been totally the success mark. Without training, you really, we train several hours every week. Last Monday, or maybe a couple Mondays ago, it got up to 91 degrees in Michigan, first hot day we had of that temperature, and we had 1,500 calls. Wow. That Wednesday, we still trained for an hour. We found that you have to be disciplined when you train, and without training, where Tom has been at a level that all of our sales guys have rose to. I think when he comes to see us or we talk to him, he has seen the huge difference that our salespeople have made, from questioning everything to wanting more information and believing, but training is the key. Training has helped us eliminate selling a lot of low-end product. 78% of what we sell is modulating furnaces. 15% of what we sell is 13 SEER air conditioners. We sell 20, 16, most of what we sell is 17 and 20 SEER in Michigan. And the only way we can get away with that is training and educating the customers. So very low percentage of low-end product. And our market is just like everybody else's. We compete against the low-end market. It seems like 80% of the contractors, love to race to the bottom. And the only way you can sell high-end is to have training. Training is the golden, the golden rule. And Tom has helped us a lot on that. And I just sat through a 4-session virtual training with Tom, and it's all foreign to me as to, I'm very computer illiterate, but I got people that are very computer literate. So it made sense. We've made the commitment to change some things. It may take us to the fall before it's up and running. We're going to try it as soon as we can feel confident that we can pull it off, but I'm convinced that's the future. to whatever degree. When we got back from, virtually 75, 80% down in the 2 months, we got everybody back to work. The first thing I said is, okay, now we've got to start training again. Because the very first fear that I had is these guys have been off for a few weeks. Where are they going to pick up where they left off? They have a very high level of training that the results are tremendous. And Tom has really been a key factor in the program that he's taught us. I hear the guys say some of the key phrases all the time that Tom has said. And so the impact is, for us, made the difference between being a contractor that tries to outbid the other contractor to we're going to outsell the other contractor. And the only way to do that is to learn how to sell.
Awesome. So how instrumental having a consistent selling platform to work from been for you and your team and your training mechanism with a consistent selling platform?
Well, the platform is what makes the difference. It enables you to show people. We always give people 4 options. So we can show them a low-end product. That's okay, we do. And then the job is simple, to take people from what that is to the higher end product, if it's appropriate. There's cases where people just need the low-end product, but the platform, the program has allowed us to make it very easy to convince and show the customer that there's more to equipment than just the price. All over, being in the business 47 years, I've went all over the country, to different seminars and things, as a lot of people have. I hear the same thing. I hear conversations from people in Florida. All we can sell is 13 SEER here. That's all anybody buys. That's in Florida. We're in Michigan, and we own 15% of what we sell is 13 SEER. So the platform, the training revolves around the platform, because you can train on how to set it up, what the strategies are. And it's amazing, the response from the customer is, well, you were the only contractor that gave us more than one choice, or maybe 2, but we didn't know what they were. So educating the customer comes from educating yourself first. If you don't know why they should spend money on equipment that adds comfort and other features, then you don't deserve to sell them, unless you have a good reason. And that's, Tom's training has really helped us in that respect.
So Tom, thank you for the time, and thank you for the friendship as well. And congratulations on your other locations too. So kudos for that. So our next guest is, if you wouldn't mind fast forwarding to 2 slides, Ben, that'd be great. And this is, I'm sorry, back up 1. Clayton McMillan?
Yes, good afternoon. I sure am here.
Okay. We go back several years, I think, almost 6 years now, I think, with coaching and training.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years. You've been coming up to Beaverton, Ontario, Canada.
Beaverton, Ontario. I love that place.
Yes.
Yeah. So just the same question I asked Tom. When you started out, you are, a shining star amongst the groups that I've worked with in the past. Your intention, your direction, and your methodical way of going from where you were to where you are. Share your journey and how you got past that, and what you've learned how to manage through this pandemic successfully too. That's very impressive.
Sure, you really set me up on a pedestal, so I hope that I can. So yeah, I everything that Tom, the other Tom, just said, I really mirror. Tom's training, whether it be in person or virtual, and I have done the virtual classes with Tom just the last couple months. It's so important that you give the customer the choices and the control. And that's one thing with virtual selling, that over the last 2 months, we've been offering virtual sales calls. So just like we're doing right now, a Zoom call, but we do it into a sales format. And giving the customer that option has given them a lot of comfort, and they feel control. Because right now, even now in Ontario, Canada, we're only at stage 2 of opening. So we're still not to where we want to be. So there's still a lot of uncomfort there. So I would say 80% of the people that I see are still wearing masks. And when I go out to the house, the customer opens the door and they're wearing a mask. So right away, you know you're masking up before you go in. So there's, to give them that comfort that when they call into the office or when they book something, a sales call online, to say, look, we can come out and do an in-person and sales call like we always have, or we can do a virtual call. And there's so many people that you can just tell in their voice that they are so relieved that they don't have to have somebody in their house. And right now, the area that I sell in, it is a lot of seniors, which of course they're even a little bit more careful with their health. So they don't want to have 3 or 4 companies in their house anymore. And when we first started doing the virtual sales, I said to Tom, I said, I just don't know if this is going to work. I live in an area with a lot of senior citizens, but what I realized is that these senior citizens want to see their grandkids, and the only way they can see their grandkids is this way. So everybody out there, there's so few people that have computers or iPads, so most of them can do this type of sales call. So I was very skeptical of being able to be successful with the virtual calls at the start. And to be very honest, this pandemic hit at a very fortunate time for us, because in our sales area, it was the kind of the dead time anyway. So our sales leads were lower at the end of March and into April. So that way we weren't inundated with calls, but we started offering virtual sales calls and customers loved them. They would either take pictures of what I needed to see prior, or they would walk me around with their phone. So if they were on the Zoom with the phone, they would walk me around and show, and it works. It really does work. Now, I've heard rumors that customers get up into their attics to take pictures. We don't have very many attic systems, thank goodness, here. So, the customers don't have to do that for me. But there's a lot of people excited. And there's one thing that we have to remember was everybody was stuck in their home. So any type of interaction to anything new was really exciting, and they loved it. So what I've noticed over the last couple of weeks, since we went into stage 2 here, we can get out in a little bit more freedom. So customers are wanting us to come to the house, which is fine, but they don't want you there for very long. It's funny. They open the door, they're wearing the mask, and we go into the house, and you can just tell there's still that uncomfort. Everybody's staying 6 feet apart. Everybody's making sure they don't touch anything they shouldn't be. So, and what I was getting was if I was getting into a house, the customer would say, okay, just email me the quote, because they weren't going to take the time to sit down for the presentation, which is understandable. I have to be 6 feet apart from you. You don't want me sitting at your kitchen table, and anything that might be on me is going to be now in your house. So just email me the quote. Well, that's been a problem for years. Ever since I started selling, the customer's like, just you come in, take your measurements. Okay, just email me a quote. Well, what happens when I email a quote? It comes down to one thing, and it's only the price. If you can't do a presentation, you can't tell the customer what differentiates your company from everybody else. So we are not the cheapest price in the area. We never have been. We never will be. So if I send Tom a quote and he just looks at the bottom number, that's all it compares to. So what I've done is I've done a bit of a hybrid of our virtual sales. If the customer doesn't want to take the time to do Zoom call, and there is what they call Zoom fatigue, and I get it. We've all been doing lots of meetings and that. So what I do is I'll go out and I'll take the measurements and pictures I need. I'll come back, put together the options, but then I record a presentation for them. So I'll use Zoom or whatever, record a presentation, and that presentation is usually 10 to 15 minutes. And I give them all the options, just like what Tom had mentioned, single stage, 2-stage variable, and explain everything as if I would if I was at the kitchen table. And then I send them the quote, and I send them the link to that video. And I cannot believe the number of customers that are just ecstatic. They literally do call me and they say, I can't believe you did that for me. I'm so appreciative. And Like really, it's easy. It's nothing, but it's taking out and it's personalizing that video. I'm not sending them a link that says this is what a single stage, two stage, and modulating system does. It is saying, Mr. Smith, this is what we can do for your home. So so the virtual sales portion of it is just amazing, whether it's you do full virtual or hybrid it. And I know I'm running out of time, but Tom, I know the virtual sales team, we're so looking forward to that, because something, we've been buying online since, I think Ben mentioned it weeks ago, since 9/11 really. We've been buying, everybody's been switching to online. That's when Amazon took off. This is going to make it even a bigger purchase online. So if somebody can purchase a system from their phone, just typing, that's going to be huge, absolutely massive.
Well, Clayton, congratulations on your success. Thank you for your friendship as well. I cherish that deeply. So thank you so much. So to learn more about the virtual sales team, my team can actually sell for you. Check us out. Text Coach to 713-856-1853 for more information.
Excited to introduce my business partner, and it's interesting as I reflect back on all of the other dealers and their input and contributions. It ties me back to some of the thoughts that I talk about when I'm working out in the market, and that is, can we find dealers that are really interested in changing, and are they coachable, right? And I think that when you look at everybody that's contributed today from a dealer standpoint, not only have they recognized that they want to change, but they've committed to making that change and aligning themselves with some great consultants that really have the spirit of helping them with their business without blowing up their culture. And when I got challenged to participate today, first of all, my blood pressure went up and my anxiety levels went up, because this is my first go round and expectations are high with all of you great panelists. But I also wanted to take a look at what dealers have I worked with that have been coachable and committed to change. And in this case with Ernie Rodriguez from Dan King Plumbing and 1 Hour Air, he added the third C to me, and that was his ability to challenge me. So with that said, I want to take a minute just to introduce Ernie and thank him, and just have him kind of just walk through a little bit of his company and a little bit of bio on himself. So with that said, Ernie, if you want to kind of kick off and tell us a little bit about you and your role and your company and maybe a little bit of its history, we would all appreciate that.
Great. Thanks, Mike. So our company, we're located here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We've been in business for a long time. We've got heating and air, plumbing, and electrical that we do here. So we offer a lot of different things to our customers. But I think just over the years, I've worked with this company for about 12 years. I was thinking back, because Mike was asking me about financing and just some of the things and success that we've had this year. But we were talking today about, some history with financing, and we were thinking back of, in 2008, when I actually got in this business, we were in a financial, here in the Charlotte area especially, this is one of the larger financial sectors in the country. It was tough to get people approved for financing, because he was, obviously financing, here at our company has been a big part of what we've been doing for quite a while. But so we've been through some ups and downs, and he asked me what, where the climate is today with our customers today. And today we finance about 65 or 70% of the jobs that we do each day. My position here with the company is I'm the sales manager, and I also help oversee the installation areas of the company as well. So, that's kind of what we do each day as far as a replacement. But
so good,
yeah.
No, good stuff, Ernie. I want to just ask you, you folks are an Amana dealer, correct?
That's correct.
Can you kind of share with us what are some of the value props that you're using the Amana brand for to differentiate your company from the other products in the market? Just maybe name the top 3.
Well, I mean, our number one would be the financing options that we have through Amana. That's the first thing that comes to mind that we've been talking about the most recently. There's rebates and things that we have through the relationship that we have through Mike Brisbane, where we are able to get discounted financing rates on all sorts of different plans that we have. There's several different financing companies through the organization that we're a part of. So we're able to offer several different options to our customers. Another thing with Amana that why we're with them is the relationship that we have with them here locally with our local distributor. We get tremendous support from them, which obviously is coming from Amana, at some level. Whether if we have issues in the field with something that we've installed and we've exhausted all the things that we can think of, if there's some kind of an issue with the system, they're pretty supportive with us and helping us out. And again, I think just the other part of it is the relationship we have with our distributor here locally. They're very good at taking care of us. Part of what we've been dealing with lately, I don't know if everyone else has, but we've had some inventory problems with some delivery problems that are getting to here locally in the area. So they've been very good at working with us on all the different types of equipment we have and doing the best they can to make sure everything we've got. So those are probably the top 3.
All right. Appreciate you sharing that. Ernie, you and I got kind of thrown together in a little bit of an unusual twist. If you remember, I called you about what lenders you were using because your primary lender had sort of reached out to me and challenged me, right? So right. I called you up and, hey, what are you doing? We went through a series of I think you were kind of challenging me to figure out what my intent and purpose was. And then we kind of had our conversation evolve into what loan programs were you using and why? Do you remember that initial conversation?
I do, yes.
And do you remember when we started talking about you were using a traditional loan product because it was a big part of its foundation was no dealer fee. And then I sort of introduced the idea of, well, wait a minute, take a look at what you're doing with credit cards and that cost, and then look at a little bit different model where we introduce some fixed term programs. You remember all of that?
I do, yep.
So could you kind of talk a little bit about how your sales process through, quite frankly, your own self-realizations and your own ideas, and then potentially with help from EGIA's input on how you've modified your sales process over the last, I would say it's been roughly about 90 days.
Well, the conversation that you and I, just to kind of elaborate on that just a touch, is you asked me, how do your salespeople decide what financing plan they offer your customers? And my response was something related to, dealer fees and cost. And I think I made a comment in how that could potentially impact their commissions, and because they get paid off the net sale, and some kind of discussion about that. And I think your response to me was something like, well, that's fine, but you're thinking like a smaller company, and why don't you think like a bigger company? Okay, because what bigger companies do is they are looking at offering their customers financing options that help make all the different packages and things that we offer affordable. Okay, and what that did is that made me kind of stop and think for a minute, like, well, okay, that makes a lot of sense. If I want to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? We all know what that means. So I did a lot of thinking, and I thought, well, why don't we try something new? I do want to grow the organization and grow our department. So that's where we kind of got into a discussion about using the different plans, changing the interest rates, extending the term of the loans, as we were offering higher end packages to our customers. to try to keep the payments all within, something that was affordable, to the average homeowner. So, we put together some ideas, Mike and I did, with, kind of collaborating back and forth. And what we've done in the last 90 days is we've implemented some things in the department and with the salespeople. And Mike was able to get on board with me. We did a Zoom call with our department one morning. And, we just talked about, the different types of plans that we can have, how the rebates that we get through Amana, how they can help reduce the cost of those buy downs for the different plans that we offer. And most importantly, to offer these, affordable solutions to our customers for, higher end systems, which, and all the other things that we include with that. We do different things with extending maintenance plans where, we've got customers that want to do that. They want to do filter changes and all sorts of different things that they want to do with their system, whether it's indoor air quality or whatever it is. And it just has helped us really sort of get that solidified in that area by using the financing and showing people that, hey, you can start off with a system that's just a basic in and out job for, $125 a month, but for, maybe $200 a month or $225 a month, which isn't that much difference, $25 a week, we can do all these other things over here and really get you what you're really looking for. So that has really helped us increase our average ticket. It's helped us increase our closing rate. It's helped us, again, just offering a better solution to our customers, again, and keeping it affordable. That's the key. We've always been offering these solutions, but there was obviously some challenges with people from an affordability standpoint, and this has made a huge difference.
Got it. And I appreciate that, Ernie. I think one of the key things that that you had realized is that your sales people had the flexibility on whether they were going to offer financing at all and which programs, and that was impacting, quite frankly, the customer experience and ultimately their closing rates and successes and your company's success. And I know that we're getting a little bit light on time. Is there any other key thing that you'd like to maybe kind of wrap up with, Ernie, on as far as where you're at and the successes that you're having? I'd like to really quickly have you comment on efficiency, higher efficiency products, and are you seeing an uptick in air purification equipment sales incorporating the finance model?
We are. Like I was saying, all the full package, people are able to fit, afford the full package, which includes the indoor air quality, and again, all the maintenance and everything else that they want, which also includes, being able to make the higher efficient systems more affordable as well, with, variable compressors and all that type of thing. And I guess as the final comment I would want to make, offering financing to your customers is absolutely 100% important. That needs to happen with every customer on every presentation. And it's something that we talk about all the time, but it's interesting to hear, how often you see, we here locally see that it's very, a lot of times we're not seeing, customers weren't really showing a whole lot, maybe just a basic, a 0% financing for 60 months. That seems to be the kind of the go-to thing. We've spent a lot of time working with our salespeople on, is that a good fit for the customer or not? We've learned over, just the things we've been doing, that's not always the best thing. And, that's, we've had a lot of success with that.
Well, Ernie, I want to wrap up and say thank you again. I've absolutely enjoyed working with you, and I'm sure we'll have many other consultations going forward. Just like to say that EGIA is really interested in helping the dealer develop their business, partnering with the Goodman Amana team as well. EGIA.org is our website for more information.